Plauga 77 is putting on a strong performance, currently leading the pack, followed closely by Bobardo and Haruto, 5 in second place, with Saiga 22 and Seal 87 not far behind in third. Keep your eyes on these top contenders as they navigate the twists and turns of this exhilarating race. Use John 7 and Sir Ironbot make a strong move, advancing 4 places to P19. Nalga 77 seems to be struggling, dropping a massive 23 positions down to P29. Twitch 5 and Amy climbed to 6, successfully overtaking Snake in the race. Ayrafe in the Nissan Ananian Aunisikbi, Uzirius Guy and Di Maria Nu in the Sauber 9 are fiercely contesting the 16th spot. Guningip and Suzanne Greenberg have advanced to 24th position, successfully passing Okayoki 3 and Nukambokem. Now they are engaged in a battle for 24th position against Okayoki 3 and Nukambokem, with Greningip and Suzanne Greenberg in the Peugeot 900 and Fui 3 and Nukambokem in the Chevrolet Intrepid RM1. Duff Dad and Maya are fiercely contesting for 12th position in their Nissan R90 Onisi cars, with Rizaldi Adha close behind in a Porsche 962C Longtail. Buchizero has advanced to 15th place, passing Wazirius Guy and Di Mariano. Waintra 94 has made progress to 24th place, overtaking Greningib and Suzanne Greenberg. Amingson and Superlacroix in the Sauber C9 are fiercely competing against Huggett 3 and Fire Skies in the Jaguar XTR9 for the 7th position. Meanwhile, Gary Z has advanced to 13th place, successfully passing Duff Dad and Maya. The trio of Duff Dad, Maya and Buchizero are currently battling it out for the 14th spot, with Duff Dad and Maya in a Nissan R90 on SC, and Buchizero in a Chevrolet Intrepid RM1. Knalva 77 is making a strong push towards Kamikaze 38, narrowing the gap by 6 seconds. Sniku 515 and Nira Soul have advanced to 10, surpassing Smurf 20. Wing Sirius Guy and Di Marianu have climbed to 13, passing Duff Dad and Maya in the process. Smurf 20 claims the 10th spot, passing both Snakoof of 115 and Nearasol in a Mercedes-Benz S11. A heated three-way competition between them unfolds. Additionally, Butchizero advances to 16th place after overtaking A. Arafale. Kokibinity and Hot Wheels Skidon make a smooth move up to 18th place, leaving Lacroixon 1980 and Milestone 149 behind. Wayne Trenanifi 4 climbs to 21st place by overtaking Hughes John 7 and Sir Ironbot, Tot. An interesting battle unfolds between Wayne Tre 94 in a Toyota 88 CV and Hughes John 7, and Sir Ironbot in a Peugeot 905 for the 21st spot. Hey Hot Wheels Skidon! Thank you so much for subscribing to the channel and supporting the stream. Your support means a lot, and I'm glad you're enjoying the race car A action with us. Let's see what these cars have in store for us today. Thank you again for the sub. Clover 77 is closing in on New Texan by 5.9 seconds, while CB and MBG 2000, 129, are catching up to Kamikaze 38 by 8.6 seconds. Saigot 22 and C97 are narrowing the gap to Bobado and Haruto 5 by 3.1 seconds. Great to see everyone cheering on their favorites with the Arasi emotes. Let's keep that energy up for an exciting race ahead. While CB and MBG 2000, 129, are showing impressive pace as they close in on Kamikaze 38, reducing the gap by 5.8 seconds. Sniku 515 and Nira Sol have made moves, now sitting in 8th place after overtaking Rizaldi Ada. Meanwhile, Rizaldi Adha has also gained ground, moving up to 9th place after overtaking Amin Sun and Super Lacroix. Smurf 20 is on a roll, catching up to Greninjeb and Suzanne Greenberg with a 16.2 second decrease in gap. Kamikaze 38 is making a strong push, closing in on Smurf 20 with a 41.7 second reduction in gap. Gary Z is climbing the ranks, now at P9 after overtaking Rizaldi Adha. Gary Z is struggling, dropping to 21st place. Baker Uroni and Chieftain X have advanced to 11th position, surpassing Duff Dad and Maya the Thought. Duff Dad and Maya have climbed to 12th place, passing Wazirius Guy and Dini Marinu to Dope Tool. La Croissant in 1980, Maystone 149, and Naga 77 are fiercely competing for the 19th position. La Croissant 1980 and Maystone 149 are in a Nissan R90 Onyx, while Naga 77 is piloting a Mercedes-Benz 11. In another tight battle for 20th place, Naga 77 in the Mercedes-Benz 11 is currently dueling with Tank Kaminen 704 in a Peugeot 905. Kamikaze 38 has made a significant move up to 27th place, successfully passing Gary Z from Team No Name Racing. Naga 77 advances to 18th place, passing Wayne 94. Tenka Minin 704 climbs to 20th place, overtaking Makrawa 1980 and Mastone 149. Smurf 20 of Team 420 is gaining on New Texan, closing in by 2.8 seconds. Leriki Elo Mazailovs are making gains on Twix 560 and Electric Mary, closing the gap by 2.2 seconds. Dakota Snake is also catching up to Twitch 5 and Amy, reducing the distance by 2.4 seconds. The competition is heating up. Dakota Snake is on fire now in 5th place after overtaking Twitch 5 and Amy. Rizaldi Adha, Wunzirius Guy, and D. Marianu are fighting for the 11th spot. While CB and MBHD, 2129, are gaining on Kamikaze 88, reducing the distance by 4.3 seconds for a possible overtake. Twitch 5 and Amy advanced to 5th place, passing Decada Snake from Racing Potatoes. Hugged 3 and Fire Skies climbed to 8th place, overtaking Amundsen and Super Lacroix. Green and Jeb and Susan Greenberg are gaining on Use Jones 7 and Sir Ironbot, reducing the gap by 3.7 seconds. Greenajev in the Peugeot 905, Susan Greenberg and Smurf 20 in the Mercedes-Benz 11 are in a tight battle for P24. Meanwhile, Wow CB and MBG 2129 are rapidly catching up to Kamikaze 8, reducing the distance by 3.4 seconds. The competition is heating up on the track. Amin Sun and Super Lacroix have surged to 8th place, making a swift move past Huggard Free and Fire Skies. A gripping battle is unfolding between these duos for the 8th position, with Amin Sun and Super Lacroix in a Sauber C9, and Huggard 3 and Fire Skies in a Jaguar XGR9. Meanwhile, Win Serious Guy and D Marianu have advanced to 11th place by overtaking Rizaldi Ada. Dot. Lariki Alu and the Xylodoxt are making moves, catching up to Twix 560 and Electricry by 3 seconds. In the meantime, Rizaldi Adha, Duff Dad, and Maya are fiercely fighting for the 12th position. It's also getting intense between Beachy Zero and Noga 77, as they battle it out for the 14th spot. Serious Guy and D Marianu are now in 10th place after overtaking Huggard 3 and Fire Skies. Smurf 20 is making gains on Lacroix 1980 and Milestone 149, reducing the gap by 3 seconds. Wow CB and MBG 2129 are catching up to Kamikaze 38, closing in by 2.5 seconds. Knolga 77 is making moves, catching up to Duff Dad and Maya by 2.6 seconds. Impressive progress there. Meanwhile, Wow CB and MBG 2129 are climbing up the ranks to 27th place after overtaking Kamikaze 38. Cut. Keep an eye on those positions shifting. Baconate takes the lead in the battle for 6th place, surpassing Snookerfoo 115 and Narasol in the Toyota 88 CV. Meanwhile, Tankamin 704 is on a mission, narrowing the gap to Mama Hasta and Polokostany by 3 seconds. Bobardo and Haruto 5 are now down to position 14 after some issues. Rafael is catching up to Koki Beninity and Hot Wheels Skidone by 593.8 seconds. Twix 560 and Electric Murray have advanced to second place, passing Liriki Alo and Lazalok Steed. Neo Texan is closing in on Greninjub and Susan Greenberg with a 593.8 second reduction in the gap. Nalga 77 has advanced to P9, overtaking Hugged 3 and Fire Skies. Kamikaze 38 is making a strong move, closing in on Waxy B and MBC 2129 by 582.6 seconds. Bobardo and Haruto 5 have made a push to 14, surpassing Koki Beninity and Hot Wheels Skidone. Kamikaze 38 is now within striking distance of Waxy B and MBC 2129, closing the gap significantly. Hood 3 and Fire Skies are fiercely contesting the 10th position in their Jaguar XJR9, while Rizaldi Ada in a Porsche 962C Longtail is right in the mix. Slurf 20th made a solid advancement to 16th, surpassing AA Rafael. La Croissant 1980 and Mystone 149 have climbed to 20th, overtaking Mama Hasta and Paula Kostanina. Dakota Snake now in 5, after passing Baker Gironi and Chieftain X. Amindan and Super Lacroix closing in on Baker Girona and Chieftain X, reducing the gap by 2 seconds. Klauga 77 is catching up to Amindan and Super Lacroix, narrowing the distance by 3.6 seconds. Twix 560 and Electric Murray are making significant progress, narrowing the distance to Zyko 22 and Seal 87 by 2.8 seconds. Bobardo and Haruto 5 have made a swift move up to the 13th position, successfully overtaking Bochizero. Nalga 77, Aminsan, and Super Lacroix are dueling for the 7th spot. Smurf 20 has made progress, climbing to 15th after passing Koki Beninity and Hot Wheels Skidon. While CB and MBG 2129 are catching up to Neotexum, reducing the distance by 2.9 seconds. Twix 560 and Electric Murray are now in second place, successfully passing Lurikialo and Lazilogstadt. A tight contest is underway for the 11th position between Duffdad and Maya in a Nissan R90 seat, and Babardo and Haruto of in Mercedes-Benz 11. Keep an eye on this unfolding battle. Winzerius Guy and Di Mariano are making a push, closing in on Amundsen and Super Lacroix by 2.4 seconds. Bobardo and Haruto 5 have made a solid move to claim the 10th spot from Hug 3 and Fire Skies. Hug 3 and Fire Skies have responded by overtaking Duffdad and Maya for the 11th position. Duffdad and Maya are struggling, dropping to P27. Tenkamainen 704 advances to P18, passing Le Croissant 1980 and Nystone 149. Le Croissant 1980 and Mistone 149 climb to P19, overtaking Okayoki 3 and Nukemboken. Bobardo and Haruto 5 are now in 9th place, passing Waziri's Guy and Di Mariano. Mama Hasta and Polo Kostanin have made their way up to 20th place, overtaking Okayoki 3 and Nukembokim. While CB and MBJ 2129 are gaining on Kamikaze 38, reducing the difference by 3.5 seconds. Twix 560 and Electric Murray has significantly narrowed the gap, reducing it by 24 seconds to Zygo 22 and Seal 87. Amundsen and Super Lacroix are steadily gaining on Becca Jerome and Chieftain X, reducing the distance between them by 2.6 seconds. Amy and Twitch 5 are making their presence felt in the race, securing the 3rd position after overtaking Leriki Olo and Lasilogs. Dakota Snake is swiftly catching up to Leriki Alo and Laseloxt, reducing the gap by 2 to 3 seconds. The battle for 8th place is heating up between Amundsen and Super Lacroix in a Sauber C9, and Bobardo and Haruto 5 in a Mercedes-Benz 11. Knaga 77 has taken the 5th position from Dakota Snake, while XCB and Ian Beach 2029 are steadily catching up to Kamikaze 38, bridging the distance by 3.4 seconds. Dakota Snake is now in 5th place, passing Baker Gironi and Chieftain Axe. Baker Gironi and Chieftain Axe have advanced to 6th place, overtaking Nalga 77. Lacroisson 1980 and Maystone 149 have climbed to 18th place, surpassing Okayoki 3 and Nukembokim. Dukembokum. Dakota Snake is making moves, closing in on Twitch 5 and Amy by 2.9 seconds. Knalga 77 has surged to 6, passing Baker Gironi and Chieftain Axe. While XCB and MBG 2129 are gaining on Kamikaze 38, reducing the gap by 3.2 seconds. Kamikaze 38 is making a strong move, getting closer to Greninjeb and Suzanne Greenberg by 22.4 seconds. Duffdad and Maya are rapidly catching up to Sniku 515 and Neerasol, shaving off 550.5 seconds. Dakota Snake is now in foul after passing Nolga 77. Bobardo and Haruto 5 have advanced up 5, surpassing Dakota Snake. Koki Beninity and Hot Wheels Skidon have climbed to P13, overtaking Buchizero. Wichizero has progressed up the FRA team, passing Wingtra 94 from Team Mungan Midnight Runners. Rizaldiata is making moves, narrowing the gap to Koki Binity and Hot Wheels Skidon by 16.5 seconds. Okayoki 3 and Nukembokum are swiftly catching up to Arafale, closing in by 571.9 seconds. Twitch 5 and Amy are surging, reducing the distance to WoW XCB and MB22 129 by 550.0 seconds. Koki Beninity and Hot Wheels Skidon are making significant gains on Bobardo and Haruto 5, lessening the difference by 20.8 seconds. Similarly, La Croissant 1980 and Mistone 149 are swiftly catching up to Okayoki 3 and New Kambokim, reducing the distance by 24.9 seconds. The chase is intense as Koki Beninity and Hot Wheels Skidon continue to close in on Bobardo and Haruto 5 by 20.8 seconds. Buchitsero has advanced to 10th place, passing Koki Beninity and Hot Wheels Skidon. Koki Beninity and Hot Wheels Skidon are now in 11th, surpassing Rizaldi Adha. Rizaldi Adha moved up to 12th, overtaking A. Arafael in the process. Bobardo and Haruto 5 have slipped back to 24th place. Sneak of 515. And Nearasol are gaining on Duff Dad and Maya, reducing the gap by 540.1 seconds. Baker Urone and Chieftain Axe have advanced to 4th place, passing the Serious Guy and Di Marianu. T. Ikejironi and Chieftain Axe are making significant gains, catching up to Liriki Eloan and Laserlogs by reducing the gap by 30.4 seconds. Hugged Free and Fire Skies are experiencing difficulties, slipping down 12 positions to P25. Ikejironi and Chieftain Axe continue to close in on Liriki Alo and Laserlogs, decreasing the gap by 30.4 seconds. Mama Hasta and Polo Costanin are closing in on La Croissant 1980 and Mistone 149, reducing the gap by 24.7 seconds. Neo Texum is swiftly catching up to Mama Hasta and Polo Costanin, narrowing the gap by 585.5 seconds. Mama Hasta and Polo Costanin continue to shrink the distance to La Croissant 1980 and Mistone 149 by 24.7 seconds. Waxy B and MBG2. 12 and 29 are on a mission, swiftly catching up to Neotexum with a 570.1 second decrease in gap. Lyriki Alo and Loziloxt are putting pressure on Twix 560 and Electric Murray, narrowing the distance by 2.2 seconds. Meanwhile, Waziri's Guy and Di Marianu have made an impressive move to claim 4th place, surpassing Baker Jerome and Chieftain Axe. Bucicero is narrowing the gap to Baker Geroning and Chieftain Axe by 7.7 seconds. Inalga 77 is closing in on Twitch 5 and Amy, reducing the gap by 588 seconds. Smurf 20 advances to 5, passing Wisiri Sky, and Dean Marianu. Dol. Twix 560 and Electric Murray are making a strong move, reducing the distance to Zygo 22 and Seal 87 by 2 seconds. Amy has made a move and is now only 1.5 seconds behind Kamikaze 38. Twix 560 and Electric Murray are rapidly catching up to Zygote 22 and Seal 87, reducing the distance by 2.2 seconds. Meanwhile, Twitch 5 and Amy are making gains on Kamikaze 38, narrowing the gap by 2.1 seconds. Exciting developments as Rizaldi Ada climbs to 9th place, surpassing Koki by Ninity and Hot Wheels Giddon. A tight battle between them ensues. Wayne Train 94 also makes a move to 11th place, overtaking AI Rafael. Leriki Alo and Lasilox are making gains on Twix 560 and Electric Murray, narrowing the difference by 5.5 seconds. The competition is heating up as Wayne Train 94 advances to P11, surpassing A.E. Rafael. Gary Z is making a strong move, closing in on Babardo and Haruto 5 by a significant 566.9 seconds. Twitch 5 and Amy are also working hard to catch up with Kamikaze 8, reducing the gap by 2.2 seconds. Gary Z's impressive performance continues as he chases down Babardo and Haruto 5 Dorset. Twix 560 and Electric Murray are steadily closing in on Zagota 22 and Seal 87, reducing the gap by 2.1 seconds. Meanwhile, Knalga 77 is making a move on Kamikaze 38, narrowing the distance by 3.2 seconds. Aminsan and Superlacroix now hold 12th place, passing A. Rafael. Wauk CB and MBG 2129 have advanced to 20th place, overtaking New Texan. Knalga 77 is narrowing the distance to Kamikaze 38, reducing the gap by 3.1 seconds. Twitch 5 and Amy continue to cut the distance to Neo Texan, reducing it by 7 seconds. Gary Z is swiftly catching up to Barbado and Haruto 5, closing in by 426.8 seconds. Baker Uroni and Chieftainets are closing in on Smurf 20, narrowing the gap by 2.4 seconds. Wayne 94 from Wangan Midnight Runners is closing in on Bridge 0, reducing the gap by 23.7 seconds. The pressure is on for Butcher 0 as Wayne 94 gains ground. Meanwhile, Neo Texan from Nafgum Kings is catching up to Wauk CB and MBG 2129, narrowing the distance by 3.6 seconds. Serious Guy and Di Mariano have made a solid move to claim the 6th position, successfully passing Baker Gironi and Chieftainax. The battle for 6th place is heating up between these drivers. Meanwhile, Mamahasta and Pulakostanin have advanced to 16th place after overtaking Okayuki 3 and Nukambokin. Welcome back, Thea de Muffin. The race cars have missed you zooming by. Great to have you back in the driver's seat with us. Impressive progress by Twix 560 and Electric Murray as they narrow the gap to Zygo 22 and Seal 87 by 2.2 seconds. Leriki, Aloe and Lazilux are also closing in on Twix 560 and Electric Murray, reducing the distance by 2 seconds. Wauk CB and MBG2 1129 are making a significant push towards Grannon Jeb and Susan Greenberg, bringing the gap down by 4.4 seconds. The Jedi Muffin said, "Hey Amy, my name is the Jedi Muffin, not the Jedi Muffin lol. Hey Jedi Muffin. That's a unique and fun username you've got there. What brings you to the stream today?" Twix 560 and Electroprimary are now hot on the heels of Zygo 22 and Seal 87, narrowing the gap by 5 seconds. Exciting developments as Baker Jordan and Chieftain X make a strong move to claim 6th place, overtaking Wazirius Guy and Di Maria Nu. Leriki Alo and Les Ilox are catching up to Twix 560 and Electroprimary, reducing the gap by 2.1 seconds. Pitch 5 and Amy are also gaining on New Texum, closing in by 2.2 seconds. The race dynamics are quickly evolving as these drivers make their moves. Twitch 5 is gaining ground on Neo Texum, closing in by 2.1 seconds. Decada Snake is getting closer to Smurf 20, narrowing the gap by 2 seconds. Wunzirius Guy and Di Maria Nu have made their way up to 6th place, passing Baker Jerome and Chieftain X. Rizaldi Ada has also climbed to 8th place, overtaking Koki Beninity and Hot Wheels Skidon. Waintra 94 in the Toyota 8088 TCV and Aminsan in the Solba C9 are neck and neck, with Super Lacroix also in the mix for the intense battle for the 11th position. It's a tight competition between these drivers as they jockey for position on the track. Koki Benenity and Hot Wheels Skidon are putting the pressure on Rizaldi Adha, reducing the distance between them by 2:30 seconds. Twix 560 and Electric Murray are setting the pace at the front, with Leraki Alo and Lasilologs right on their tails in second, followed closely by Zygo 22 and Silo 87 in third. Smurf 20 is rapidly catching up to Zygo 22 and Seal 87, reducing the gap by 581.3 seconds. Additionally, Winzerius Guy and D. Marianu are closing in on Dakota Snake, narrowing the margin by 3.8 seconds. While CTB and MBG 2129 are making some moves, advancing to 19th place as they overtake Greninjib and Susan Greenberg. While CB and MBG 2129 continue to make impressive progress, narrowing the distance to EU's Jones 7 and Sirion Bot by 2.4 seconds. Zygo 22 and Seal 87 are gaining on Lariki Alo and Lysologst, shortening the distance by 2.2 seconds. Twitch 5 and Amy are catching up to Greninjib and Suzanne Greenberg, reducing the gap by 2:30 seconds. Snicker 515 and Nira Sol are closing in on Duff Dad and Maya, decreasing the gap by 2.6 seconds. Zygot 22 and Seal 87 are rapidly catching up to Lyriki Aulo and Lazilogst, reducing the gap by 29 seconds. Snaku 515 and Nirasol are also swiftly closing in on Nalga 77, decreasing the distance by 7.8 seconds. The battle for positions is heating up as the race progresses. Decoder Snake is bridging the distance to Smurf 20, narrowing the gap by 2.8 seconds. Koki Beninity and Hot Wheels Skidone are catching up to Baker Jeronin Chieftain Axe, reducing the gap by 2.7 seconds. Buchitero is closing in on Rizaldi Adha, lessening the gap by 2:30 seconds. Neo-Texan is pushing hard and catching up to Hugged Free and Fire Skies, reducing the gap significantly by 565.4 seconds. Smurf 20 has surged to P3, after overtaking Lurky Olo and Lazaloxt. Twitch 5 and Amy are making gains on Greninja and Susan Greenberg, narrowing the distance by 230 seconds. Koki Bininila D and Hot Wheels Skidon have advanced to 7th place, surpassing Rizaldi Adha. Rizaldi Adha has climbed to 8th place, overtaking Buchezero. Buchido has moved up to 9th place, passing Aminson and Super Lacroix. Mama Hasta and Polokostanin are swiftly catching up to Luriki Alo and Laserloxt, reducing the gap by 572.2 seconds. Neo Texan from Team Nafgum Kings has made a move up to P26, successfully passing Huger 3 and Fire Skies in the process. Snuku 515 and Nerisol are gaining on Duffdad and Maya, closing the gap by 563.3 seconds. Luckworth 1980 and Moiston 149 are in a tight battle with Leriki Alo and Lizaloxt for 14th place, while CB and MBG 2129 are catching up to Kamikaze 38, reducing the gap by 4 seconds. Neo-Texan is rapidly catching up to Babardo and Haruto 5, reducing the gap by 533.8 seconds. Nalga 77 is swiftly closing in on Gary Z, shrinking the gap by 527.6 seconds. Zygar 22 and Seal 87 are making gains on Twix 560 and Electric Mary, closing the gap by 3.3 seconds. Kamikaze 38 is making a bold move, catching up to EU's John 7 and Sir Ironbot by slashing the gap by 21.8 seconds. Meanwhile, Rafael Lacroixon 1980 and Nestone 149 are fiercely competing for the 12th position. Over in 14th place, Lariki Alo and Liza Lux have surged ahead, leaving 10 Kamen and 7 Hole behind in the race standings. Duff Dad and Maya are charging ahead, rapidly closing in on Welk CB and MBG 2000 on 129, reducing the gap by a whopping 396 seconds. Aminsan and Super Lacroix are also making gains on Rizaldi Adha, cutting the distance by 2.5 seconds. Wayne Trinity 4 is on the move too, closing in on Butcher Zero by 220 seconds. The competition is heating up as these drivers push to make their mark in the race. Dekudesnate from Team Racing Pateas now in 4th place after overtaking Baker Jaronen and Chieftain Axe. Koki Beninity and Hot Wheels Skidon gaining on Wazirius Guy and Di Marianu, reducing the distance by 230 seconds. Aminsan and Super Lacroix are closing in on Rizaldi Adha, shortening the gap by 2.4 seconds. Kala 77 is making a strong move towards Gary Z, reducing the gap by 515.3 seconds. Pugot 3 and Fire Skies are also catching up to Naga 7077, closing the gap by 582 seconds. While CB and MBG 2129 are closing in on Kamikaze 38, reducing the gap by 2.6 seconds. Rizaldi Adha advances to 7th place, surpassing Aminsan and Super Lacroix. Doti time. Aminsan and Super Lacroix climb to 8th, passing Koki Beninity and Hot Wheels Skidon Alternate. Lariki Alo and Lazilologs are gaining on Wayne 94, reducing the distance by 2.6 seconds. Welcome back, Rush Valentine. We've missed having you in the race car action. Great to see you again on the stream. Mama Hester and Polo Kosanin are catching up to Koki Beninity and Hot Wheels Skidon, reducing the gap by 25.3 seconds. Zygo 22 and Seal 87 are closing in on Twix 560 and Electropneri by 2.1 seconds. Winzerius Guy and Di Marianu are gaining on Baker Jerome and Chieftain Axe, closing the gap by 2.2 seconds. Aminsan and Super Lacroix are gaining on Rizaldi Adha by 2.1 seconds, while CB and NBJ 2129 are closing in on Kamikaze 38 by 4.2 seconds. Neo Texum is reeling in Duff Dad and Maya, reducing the gap by 3.5 seconds. Neil Texum is making a strong move, catching up to Duffdad and Maya by 23.1 seconds. Gary Z is also gaining ground on New Texum, reducing the gap by 2.7 seconds. Kamikaze 38 from Wangan Midnight Runners is on a roll, closing the gap by 67.5 seconds against WarCB and MBG 2129. Gary Z is also making moves, reducing the distance to Neo Texan by 2 seconds. Huggard 3 and Fire Skies have advanced to 28th place, surpassing Naga 77 in the process. Snuku 515 and Mirasol make a daring move to claim the 23rd position, surpassing Bobardo and Haruto 5. Yuzon 7 and Sir Ironbot are making gains on Twitch 5 and Amy, decreasing the difference by 2.6 seconds. Likewise, Bobardo and Haruto 5 are closing in on Kamikaze 38, reducing the gap by 3.2 seconds. One Serious Guy and D. Marianu have advanced to 5th place, surpassing Deca to Snake. Use John 7 and Sir Ironbot have climbed to 18th place, overtaking Twitch 5 and Amy. Wow CB and MBG 2 29 or 29 are catching up to Greninja and Susan Greenberg, reducing the gap by 3.2 seconds. Rizaldi Adha from Team Racing Potatoes is making a rapid charge, closing in on Deca Snake by 32.4 seconds. Greninja and Susan Greenberg are also on the move, closing in on Twitch 5 and Amy by 23.4 seconds. The competition is heating up as Rizaldi Adha continues to close the gap on Deca Snake. Larry Kialo and Liz Silox advanced to 10th place, passing Wayne Trananivo. WowCB and MBG 2129 are gaining on Greninja and Suzanne Greenberg, cutting the distance by 2:30 seconds. Bobardo and Haruto 5 are catching up to Kamikaze 38 from Team Wangan Midnight Runners, reducing the gap by 3.1 seconds. Okeoki 3 and Nukembakem are closing in on Arfrail by 23.6 seconds. Gobardo and Haruto 5 are also narrowing the gap with Kamikaze 38 by 30.1 seconds. Tenkamin 704 is catching up to Waintra 94, reducing the gap by 2.4 seconds. Smurf when he takes the third position after passing Wazirius Guy and D. Marianu. Dudut. Wazirius Guy and D. Marianu move up to fourth, surpassing Baker Joron and Chieftain X. While CB and MBJ 2129 are inching closer to Greninjib and Suzanne Greenberg, reducing the distance by 2 seconds. Lariki Elo and the Xylox are making significant gains on Amundsen and Super Lacroix, reducing the gap by 582.5 seconds. Zygola 22 and Seal 87 are also catching up to Twix 560 and Electromary, narrowing the difference by 3.8 seconds. The battle for positions is heating up as these drivers push their limits. Rizaldiata is making significant gains on Greninjib and Suzanne Greenberg, cutting the gap by 592.3 seconds. EU's John 7 and Sir Ironbot are rapidly closing in on Wolf CB and MBG 2129, reducing the distance by 581.1 seconds. Rizaldiata continues to close in on Greninjib and Suzanne Greenberg, steadily narrowing the gap by 592.3 seconds. Kamikaze 38 is closing in on EU's John 7 and Sir Ironbot, reducing the gap by 533.2 seconds. Meanwhile, Amundsen and Super Lacroix are catching up to Bucci Zero, narrowing the distance by 3.4 seconds. Additionally, Rizaldiata is closing in on Greninjib and Suzanne Greenberg, reducing the gap by 2.2 seconds. Baker Jeroning and Chieftain Axe move up to 5, passing with Sirius Guy and D. Marianu. Amundsen and Super Lacroix are catching Buki Zero from Team Quark Express, reducing the gap by 2.4 seconds. Duff Dad and Maya are closing in on Kamikaze 38, narrowing the gap by 2.8 seconds. Bucizero is making a strong move, cutting the gap to Osiris Guy and Di Maria Nu by 24.8 seconds. Now Amin San and Super Lacroix are catching up to Bucizero, closing in by 2.6 seconds. The race dynamics are heating up. WOWC CB NBG 2129 are making a push to catch up with Rizaldi Adha, reducing the gap by 2.1 seconds. Dufdad and Maya are also on the move, closing in on Kamikaze 38 by the same margin. Use Johnson and Sirarimbot are making gains, closing in on WOWC CB and NBG 2129 by 2.8 seconds. Dufdad and Maya are also on the move, reducing the distance to Kamikaze 38 from Team Wengan Midnight Runners by 2.4 seconds. Smurfwenny has made a significant move to second place, passing Twix 560 and Electric Miri. WOWC CB and NBG 2129 are gaining on Rizaldi Adha, reducing the gap by 2.6 seconds. Dufdad and Maya are closing in on Kamikaze 38, shrinking the gap by 3.3 seconds. Larry Kialo and Los Silologs are making moves on Bucizero, shrinking the gap by 3.6 seconds. AI Rafael is catching up to 10 Kaminin 704, reducing the distance by 2.5 seconds. Bobardo and Haruto 5 are in a tight battle with Dufdad and Maya for the 23rd position. Bobardo and Haruto 5 are in a Mercedes-Benz 11, while Dufdad and Maya are piloting a Nissan on90 on ECP.T. Liquid Snake is quickly catching up to Twix 560 and Electric Miri, reducing the gap by 2.7 seconds. Lacroix on 1980 and Mystone 149 are making gains on Mama Hasta and Paula Costanin, narrowing the distance by 3.5 seconds. Rizaldi Adha has made a move to Pate Team, successfully passing Greninjab and Suzanne Greenberg. Neotexum is closing in on Snuku 515 and Nira Sol, reducing the gap by 434.2 seconds. Twix 560 and Electric Murray are making gains on Smurf 20, narrowing the distance by 2.2 seconds. Wauk CB and MBG 2129 have advanced to P19, surpassing Grinjeb and Susan Greenberg. Twitch 5 and Amy are putting the pressure on Lacroix 1980 and Mystone 149, cutting the gap by 2.1 seconds. Sigilfiv 115 and Nira Sol are closing in on Bobado and Haruto 5, reducing the distance by 2.8 seconds. Gary Z is making moves on Hug 3 and Fire Skies, closing the gap by 2.9 seconds. Duff Dad and Meyer are making gains on Kamikaze 38, shortening the distance by 2.1 seconds. Snakua 115 and Nira Sol are catching up to Bobado and Haruto 5, closing in by 2.5 seconds. Gary Z is narrowing the gap on Hug 3 and Fire Skies by 2.2 seconds. Aminsan, Super Lacroix, Leriki Alo, and Lacelox are fiercely battling for the 7th position. In another exciting development, Twitch 5 and Amy have advanced to 16th place, surpassing Lacroixon 1980 and Mystone 149. Currently, Twitch 5 and Amy are dueling it out with Lacroixon 1980 and Mystone 149, with that 16th spot. Winzeria Sky and Dean Marianu are making a move on Baker Geronin and Chieftainax, reducing the gap by 4.4 seconds. Meanwhile, Kokibin and Eddie Hot Wheels Skidon are closing in on Arafael, narrowing the distance by 240 seconds. Lastly, Duff Dad and Meyer are also catching up to Kamikaze 38, cutting the gap by 2.2 seconds. Twix 560 and Electric Murray are neck and neck in the lead, with Smurf 20 from Team 420 close behind. Dakota Snake is not far off in 4th place. The pressure is on as they navigate through the tricky turns and straightaways. Amy has climbed up to 15th place, surpassing Mama Hasta and Polo Castanin. One Serious Guy and Di Marianu are making a strong move, reducing the distance to Bekajoran and Chaftonex by 6 seconds. The race is heating up as these four drivers battle for position. Leriki Alo and Lazilux have made a swift move to claim the 7th position, successfully passing Amundsen and Super Lacroix in the process. René Jeb and Suzanne Greenberg are now in 19th place, passing Yujon 7 and Sid Ironbot, who are now in 20th place after overtaking Rizaldi Adha. John 7 and Siri Rambot are making impressive progress, significantly reducing the gap to Greenanjib and Suzanne Greenberg by 572.2 seconds. Now Rizaldi Ada is also rapidly closing in on John 7 and Siri Rambot, shortening the distance by 554.5 seconds. The battle for positions is heating up as these cars jockey for position on the track. Kamikaze 38 is making a strong move on Rizaldi Adha, closing the gap significantly by 542.6 seconds. Smurfed Winnie from Team 420 is hot on the heels of Twix 560 and Electromary, reducing the gap by 3.3 seconds. Loriki Alo and the Saloxt are also gaining ground on Zygo 22 and Seal 87, narrowing the distance by 3.1 seconds. Leriki Alo and Rizalux are making gains on Zygo 22 and Seal 87, reducing the distance by 3.8 seconds. Wauk CB and NBG 2129 are also catching up to Mama, Pasta, and Paula Kostanin, closing in by 4.1 seconds. Rizaldi Adha is chasing down Nears Johnson and Sir Ironbot, decreasing the gap by 2.1 seconds. Bobardo and Haruto 5 are gaining on Kamikaze 38, narrowing the gap by 5.5 seconds. Leriki Elo and Lazilux are closing in on Zygo 22 and Seal 87, reducing the gap by 4 seconds. Twitch 5 and I are catching up to Arafale, closing the gap by 2.4 seconds. Smurf 20 is catching up to Twix 560 and Electric Murray, reducing the gap by 2.5 seconds. Leriki Alo and Mozilux are closing in on Zygo 22 and Seal 87, narrowing the gap by 2 seconds. Bobardo and Haruto 5 are making ground on Kamikaze 38, closing the gap by 3.4 seconds. Amy has really picked up the pace and is swiftly closing in on Arafale, reducing the gap by 2.9 seconds. The tension is palpable as the race intensifies. Okayoki 3 and Nukembukem make a strong move, advancing to 15th place by overtaking Mokrowa 1980 and Milestone 149. Bobardo and Haruto 5 are making a move on Kamikaze 38, shrinking the distance by 2.3 seconds. Bochizero is making significant gains on Leriki Alo and Mozilux, reducing the gap by 23 seconds. In another exciting development, Kokubininity, Hot Wheels Skidon, and Arafale are fiercely contesting the 12th position, with Kokubininity and Hot Wheels Skidon in a Toyota 88 CV and the Arafale in a Nissan R90 on Assen. John 7 and Sir Ironbot are swiftly gaining on Momahasta and Polokostanin, tightening the distance by 20.9 seconds. Rizaldi Adha is making up ground on Greninjib and Suzanne Greenberg, cutting the distance by 23.5 seconds. Bobardo and Haruto 5 are closing in on Kamikaze 38 from Team Wangan Midnight Runners, reducing the gap by 5.9 seconds. Twitch 5 and Amy are making significant progress, narrowing the gap to Tenkaminen 704 by 24 seconds. Meanwhile, Rizaldi Adha is catching up to Greninjib and Suzanne Greenberg, reducing the distance by 2.4 seconds. Leriki Alo and Mozilux are getting closer to Aminsan and Super Lacroix, cutting the gap by 2 seconds. Duff Dad and Maya are also catching up to Bobardo and Haruto 5, reducing the difference by 2.6 seconds. The race is heating up with these exciting chases. Bobardo and Haruto 5 are rapidly gaining on Kamikaze 38, narrowing the distance by 2.2 seconds. Bobardo and Haruto 5 are now hot on Kamikaze 38's tail, closing the gap further by 2.7 seconds. John 7 and Sir Ironbot are making significant progress, reducing the gap to Walk CB and MBG 2000. 129 by 22.1 seconds. Bobardo and Haruto 5 are also closing in on Kamikaze 38, cutting the distance by 2.6 seconds. The race dynamics are really heating up with these impressive maneuvers. Tenkaimin 704 is making a strong move, catching up to Kokibine Inity and Hot Wheels Skidone by 10.4 seconds. Meanwhile, Gary Z is also on the charge, closing in on Hugger 3 and Fireskies by a whopping 357.5 seconds. The battle for positions is heating up on the track. Bobardo and Haruto 5 are gaining on Kamikaze 38, reducing the gap by 2.8 seconds. Mama Hasta and Polo Costinine are making some moves, catching up to La Crosso in 1980 and My Stone 149 by reducing the gap to 3 seconds. Dakota Snake is now chasing down Baker Gironi and Chieftain X, reducing the gap by 8.8 seconds. However, Baker Gironi and Chieftain X have made a move to take the second position, surpassing Dakota Snake from Team Racing Potatoes. The battle for positions is heating up with some impressive strategy and skills on display. Alinsan and Super Lacroix have climbed to 5th place, outpacing Leriki Alo and Wasilo Oxt. Leriki Alo and Laserluxt now sit in 6th after passing Butchizero, who has moved up to 7th by overtaking Waintra 94. Airafe is rapidly catching up to Dakota Snake from Racing Potatoes, narrowing the distance by 579.5 seconds. Furthermore, Tenkaimin 704 has made a significant move up to P12, successfully passing Kokibinity and Hot Wheels Skidone in the process. Okayoki 3 and Nukem Bokum are rapidly catching up to Koki Beninity and Hot Wheels Skydome, reducing the gap by 22.2 seconds. Bobardo and Haruto 5 are closing in on Kamikaze 38, shortening the distance by 2.3 seconds. Bobardo and Haruto 5 are now within striking distance of Kamikaze 38, reducing the gap by 2.1 seconds. Gary Z is making a massive comeback, significantly reducing the gap to Hugger 3 and Fireskies by 493.9 seconds. Keep an eye on this exciting development as Gary Z pushes forward in the race. While CTB and MBG 2129 have made a strong move, jumping to 16th place by surpassing La Grosso in 1980 and Milestone 149. The Jaguar XER5 is clearly showing its speed in this battle. Meanwhile, Bobardo and Haruto 5 have also climbed the ranks to 22nd after overtaking Kamikaze 38. Pure 3 and Fireskies are on a mission, catching up to Duff Dad and Maya with a 530.4 second reduction in the gap. Smurf 20 advances to Pate, passing Wayne 94. Meanwhile, Tankamin 704 climbs to 11, surpassing Aya Rafael. Koki Beninity and Hot Wheels Skydome are making a strong push, closing in on Amarafael by 21.4 seconds. It seems like Okayoki 3 and Nukem Bokum are also gaining ground on Twitch 5 and Amy, reducing the gap by 2.6 seconds. Koki Beninity and Hot Wheels Skydome have advanced to 12th place, passing Ayarfail from Team Blast. Bobardo and Haruto 5 are gaining on Usjum 7 and Sir Ironbot, reducing the difference by 3.1 seconds. Duff Dad and Maya are catching up to Neo Texan, decreasing the margin by 2.6 seconds. Dekada Snake is closing in on Wayne 24, reducing the gap by 2.3 seconds. Bobardo and Haruto 5 are closing in on John 7 and Sir Ironbot, narrowing the gap by 2.1 seconds. Sniku 515 and Nira Soul are catching up to Kamikaze 38 from Team Wangan Midnight Runners, closing the gap by 2.5 seconds. Temkerman in 704 is making an impressive move, closing in on Wayne Tray 94 by 25 seconds. The gap is narrowing fast. Meanwhile, Gary Z is putting pressure on Hugger 3 and Fire Skies, reducing the distance by 3 seconds. It's getting intense out there. Amy and Twitch 5 are making strides, closing in on Koki Binity and Hot Wheels Ski Dome, reducing the gap by 2.8 seconds. Meanwhile, Amin-san and Superlaqua are on a mission, rapidly catching up to Baker Jerome and Chieftain X, narrowing the distance by 18.5 seconds. While CB and MBJ2 129 are making gains on Okayoki 3 and Nukembokun, closing the gap by 2 seconds. Snaku 515 and Nira Sol are closing in on Kamikaze 38 by 2.8 seconds. Duff Dad and Maya are also closing in on Neotexum, reducing the gap by 2.9 seconds. Kamikaze 38 is swiftly catching up to Bobado and Haruto 5, reducing the gap by a significant 26.1 seconds. EOS John 7 and Sarah Ironbot are making gains on Grenadier and Suzanne Greenberg, closing in by 3.5 seconds. Bobado and Haruto 5 are closing the gap on EOS John 7 and Sarah Ironbot, narrowing it down by 2.4 seconds. Decoder Snake is now only 4.7 seconds behind Butcher Zero. Temp coming in 7-0 is getting closer to Wayne Tray 94, reducing the gap by 2.4 seconds. While CB and MBG 2129 are both catching up to Twitch 5 and Amy, narrowing the gap by 2.4 seconds. Twitch 5 and Amy have advanced to 13th place, passing Koki Binity and Hot Wheels Ski Dome. Bilbado and Harito 5 are closing in on the used John 7 and Sir Ironbot, reducing the gap by 3.9 seconds. Sniku 515 and Nirasol are catching up to Kamikaze 38, decreasing the gap by 2.9 seconds. Rizaldi Adha is catching up to Mama Hasta and Paula Costanin, reducing the gap by 2.7 seconds. Bilbardo and Haruto 5 are closing in on the Use John 7 and Sir Ironbot, narrowing the gap by 2.2 seconds. Gary Z is closing in on Hug 3 and Fire Skies, reducing the gap by 2.5 seconds. Bilbardo and Haruto 5 are making gains on Use John 7 and Sir Ironbot, reducing the gap by 2.9 seconds. Sneko 515 and Nirasol are also closing in on Kamikaze 38, shortening the distance by 2.4 seconds.